every day we get closer to the season, and now we're up to the point where guys are going to retire. And I had people asking me when Scott Gomez retired, my opinion on it. I didn't really have one because I wasn't a Gomez fan, but today Andrew Ference announced that he was done due to a hip injury. Andrew Ference is a guy that I kept an eye on when he was in Pittsburgh. And throughout his career. And I remember, I'm trying now, does this show me what they got in trade? Remember we went to Calgary, that's right too. He came over, I think, was it for Wayne Primo? And I remember when Boston picked him up, and I wasn't a fan of Ference at the time. And I thought he was okay, but was that the trade? And this is going to drive me nuts, so now I have to look it up. I'm sure people are thinking, why would he talk about Andrew Ference? Ference was traded to Calgary for future considerations, which is a steal. On February 10th, 2007, so on my birthday, he was traded with Chuck Kobasu to the Boston Bruins for defenseman Brad Stewart and center Wayne Primo. So I had that part right. And he signed a 3-year contract extension with the Bruins worth $2.25 million a year. And at the time he signed it, I thought, I don't know if he's worth $2.25 million a year. And there's definitely some comparables on their blue line now, but Ference proved himself to me. Andrew Ference was a very smart defenseman. Didn't make stupid plays with the puck when he was a Bruin. And when they won the Cup in 2011, he got virtually no attention for it. But my God, he was such a solid defenseman for Boston. I can't say anything about his time in Edmonton. I know there's a lot of talk about him being slow. Certainly injuries weren't good to him. He got beat up a lot when he was in Boston. And I like the guy a lot. That's why I'm doing this video. Andrew Ference is a guy that he's retired now, played about 900 games. He's not a Hall of Famer, obviously, but he's one of those guys that I personally cheer for. I like the 4th, 5th, 6th defenseman on a team. I like the guy who doesn't get the attention, but also does a really good job and is very good at his job, and Ference was. But to me, those guys are the ones that get you over the hump. Winning a Stanley Cup, you got to have your stars, you got to have your big players, but you have to have that depth. And Ference, when Boston won in 2011, he put up good totals. He was a warrior for the team. And when they traded him, or when he went to Edmonton, personally, I wasn't happy about it. I understand why Boston let him go. I mean, look, he's retiring now with injuries. At the time he left Boston, he was done. But it's still one of those things that I wish he had retired wearing a Boston jersey. So when people ask about players I like and players I cheer for and pull for, this is one of those guys. He played well. He played hard. He understood the limitations of his game. His offensive game was not bad, not great. Towards the end of his career, it was non-existent, but he's a good player. And he was definitely an unsung hero of the 2011 Stanley Cup. And I would be remiss not to do a video where I specifically mention Andrew Ference retiring. I don't care about how many hits it gets or anything like that. It's just at this time of year, when guys go, I look at certain players and I say, wow, he's gone, huh? And I have a funny feeling that there's probably going to be a lot of fans in Edmonton saying, good, whatever. He didn't play for us anyways. He wasn't very good. He's overrated. He's a good defenseman. It is a shame that his health let him down because he is honestly exactly the defenseman the Oilers need, but they would need a healthy younger version of him. And I don't know that they have a healthy younger version of him. But what I'll do, in honor of Andrew Ference, I intend to do a video this weekend where I discuss players that nobody talks about. So I'm off Friday and Saturday, so it's my weekend now. And I'm talking those depth defensemen, the guys on the fourth line, some third liners as well. Guys people just don't talk about who currently play in the NHL, and I have the same respect for them that I had for Andrew Ference. And I don't care about advanced stats, and I don't care about all the pretty little things that people want to throw online, all these little pie charts on why this guy sucks and that guy sucks. Look, I have certain players that I like, certain players that I don't. If an advanced chart or a pie chart tells me that I'm right, awesome. If it says that I'm wrong, it's not. It's my personal preference. It's a subjective opinion, not necessarily an objective one. Like in Vancouver, Nikita Trampkin, as a guy who's played 13 games, and I really thought right away looked solid. Coming over from a European league, so bigger ice comes to smaller ice, and it just fits him like a glove. So, those are the guys that I pay attention to. Yeah, the Sedin scored, blah, 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 blah. I pay attention to the guys that nobody else is watching. I've always been that way. If I was watching a game with Chilliwack live, I would watch the guys who didn't have the puck. It was always interesting to me to watch the guys who didn't have the puck. And then I'd kind of go, well, he gave up on the play. Well, why isn't he coming back? He's not supporting the play. And then I would watch during the night as the lines would change. If the coach changed the lines up, I go, oh yeah, somebody got dropped. It looks like his coach saw the same thing I did. So that's the kind of stuff I look at. And as a for instance, Christian Ehrhoff right now for Team Europe, he really wants a job in the NHL. He wants one last shot. It shows in the way he's playing, at least in the exhibition games, that Christian Ehrhoff feels he has another year left in the tank. I don't know that anybody's going to give him that shot. He needs a PTO. But I honestly, if I was a GM who wasn't sold on his number 6 guy watching this tournament, I would consider giving him at least a tryout. Just give him a tryout. So we'll see what happens. But again, that's the kind of guy that I end up pulling for. And I didn't think that would happen with Ehrhoff again after the way he left Vancouver to go to Buffalo because they had a better chance at the Cup. That's what he said. I wanted to go where I had the best chance to win. It's like, you went to Buffalo? Were the standings upside down when you read them? What the hell did you go to Buffalo for? Anyways, so that's that. I also got some stuff, found out some stuff at work today that my long-term future at my workplace may very well be, well, for all of us, it could be in the balance. So you guys may have a full-time YouTuber sooner rather than later, or at the very least an unemployed YouTuber sooner rather than later. We'll see. Nothing's decided on any side yet, but yeah, it could happen. Anyways, I just wanted to put up a video for Andrew Ference because I don't know that anybody else will. And I would be grateful if people didn't say, well, he sucked in Edmonton as the one comment. I know. I read these comments for the last 2 years, and they made me kind of ticked off because I've seen what he's capable of. I know what he's capable of. And it's a shame to see how things ended up. But injuries do that. So, and I can say as a guy who's in his 40s now, the injuries take a lot longer to heal than they did 20 years ago. So, it's just part of getting older. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will talk to you all again soon.